Finally, Junpei's parents give him a camera, allowing him to capture whatever he desires. He decides to practice taking photos in a garden where he spots a stunning girl. Her beauty leaves him so amazed that his mouth stays wide open. However, as soon as she notices him recording her, she becomes alarmed and starts screaming. In the midst of the chaos, she accidentally falls on top of him while trying to take his camera. Junpei is so caught up in enjoying the situation that he fails to realize the girl tosses his camera into the water, warning him never to show his face again. Junpei and Tuju are in the AIM class, with Kamiyama being his bothersome friend in a different class. Tuju has become a popular topic in school, and the boys are eager to catch a glimpse of her. Coincidentally, Junpei discovers that the camera girl is also in his class, leading him to feel excited and ask her about his camera's reimbursement. The girl informs him that she received punishment for her actions and refuses to give any compensation for the camera. Witnessing their argument, the teacher penalizes them by assigning them to clean the hallway after school. Kamiyama privately thinks, "I wish I were also given such a punishment by a beautiful teacher." Taking advantage of Junpei's punishment, he convinces Tuju to accompany him. The girl becomes furious and accidentally splashes water on Junpei, causing her to slip and fall on him once again. They both end up on the floor, with twisting her ankle and Junpei spraining his finger. Seeing her in distress, Junpei lifts her onto his back, and during their introductions, he learns that her name is Satsuki. Everyone in the school was excited to see Tuju, but she had to revert back to her old avatar because her hair wasn't styled properly. Some boys mistakenly thought she was a new student and started teasing her. Fortunately, Satsuki comes to her aid. Witnessing Satsuki in trouble, Junpei instinctively intervenes in a way he didn't fully understand. Satsuki is surprised to see Junpei standing up for her. Due to the injury he sustains during the incident, Junpei struggles with writing, prompting Satsuki to take his notebook and assist him. Tuju also witnesses this togetherness of them. Junpei learns that the film club he joined at this school has been discontinued and he needs to recruit 5 members to revive it. Apart from Tuju and Junpei, they still needed 3 more members. Okusa had already joined the football club, but seeing Kamiyama free, he tries to convince him to join. Just then, a classmate expresses interest in joining the club, and Kamiyama recognizes his exceptional photography skills and decides to join as well. They devise a plan to create a movie together that can be showcased at the cultural festival, which would help secure funding from the school. However, they were still in need of 1 more member. That's when Satsuki arrives and willingly becomes their 5th member. However, Tuju appears unhappy upon seeing everyone together, and Junpei discovers that she has already joined the literature club. It's possible that she was hurt by witnessing Junpei and Satsuki's closeness. Concerned by Junpei's distress, Satsuki attempts to ask him about it, but he doesn't want to share his feelings and asks to be left alone. However, Satsuki doesn't give up as she started developing feelings for him. When she musters the courage to confess, she blushes and quickly runs away. Satsuki doesn't necessarily need an answer from Junpei. She simply wants to spend time with him every day. They end up getting punished by the teacher for arriving late to class, which adds to Junpei's worries as making a movie with Tuju will now be challenging. Amidst his confusion regarding the 2 girls, Nishino accidentally bumps into him on the way home. Nishino is taking lessons at a cooking school, and witnessing the joy on people's faces after tasting her food motivates her to improve further. Junpei takes inspiration from her and focuses on pursuing his own dream. He attempts to persuade Tuju to fulfill their shared dream of creating movies together. Junpei had enrolled at Izumazaka School because of Tuju, and she eventually agrees to join his film club after leaving the literature club. In order to learn about filming techniques, they plan to do a movie research, and Junpei invites Tuju to his house, where they see each other for the first time in casual clothes. While they are in the middle of watching a movie, Satsuki calls Junpei. Upon learning that Tuju is at his house, Satsuki decides to bring the entire film club over for club activities. Nishino also brings a gift for Junpei, but since she doesn't know his address, Okusa takes her to his house. In an amusing turn of events, Sensei accidentally grabs Satsuki's melons, leading her to express a desire to compare Tuju's melons as well, creating a comedic situation that catches Junpei off guard. His friends are envious, wondering why they don't have such fortunate encounters. Nishino had personally made cookies as a gift for Junpei, but just then, Yu also arrives to meet him. This situation leads Satsuki and Tuju to suspect that Junpei is involved with Yu, causing confusion for Nishino as well. Junpei finds himself pondering how to handle this complicated situation. The following day, the entire film club, accompanied by their teacher, goes to the beach for a movie shoot. Satsuki brings multiple swimsuits to impress Junpei, while Tuju forgets to bring any. Satsuki kindly lends Tuju one from her collection. The group of boys finds amusement in the situation. The specifics of the movie shoot are unknown, but I feel that we all deserve such an enjoyable activity too. After seeing Satsuki in that dress, Kamiyama changes his crush once again, but Tuju and Satsuki remain interested in Junpei. Together, they devise a plan to make the girls dislike Junpei. They execute this plan by forcefully pushing him in the girls' bathroom while they are showering. Junpei becomes restless and troubled by the events that occurred in the bathroom. Similarly, Satsuki is unable to sleep, haunted by the incident. She expresses her desire to create a special film with Junpei. During an embrace with Junpei, Satsuki unexpectedly faints. Concerned for her well-being, Junpei takes her to their room and takes care of her. Eventually, he falls asleep there as well. The following morning, a doctor examines Satsuki and reveals that she has a fever likely caused by excessive sun exposure. Kamiyama realizes that his plan has backfired upon seeing Junpei asleep next to Satsuki, indicating a growing closeness between them. The next day, Nishino had a day off from school and her friend Tomoko invited her to go shopping. Nishino, who used to reject boys without much thought, had a reputation that made boys hesitant to approach her. Tomoko's brother, who was interested in Nishino, took the opportunity to meet her by inviting her to the market. However, as soon as her brother arrived, Tomoko abandoned Nishino and left her alone without paying the bill, causing Nishino to feel betrayed. Lost in her thoughts, Nishino didn't pay much attention to the boy's attempts to converse with her. But when she noticed his cheap actions and his claim that kissing was as casual as shaking hands these days, she couldn't tolerate his disrespect. In a fit of anger, she slapped him across the face with her heel. She firmly believed that their values didn't align, and she walked away from him with indignation. Back at home, Nishino locked herself in her room, feeling a mix of frustration and disappointment. As she looked at a marked date on the calendar, her phone rang. Without even hearing his voice, she recognized that it was Junpei calling her. He had asked Junpei to let her know if he had any female friends at Umi Academy, so he wanted to ask Nishino if he could mention her name. Nishino urgently asks Junpei to meet her right away, even though it's already 10 o'clock at night and he had just arrived home. Junpei hurriedly heads towards Nishino's house and coincidentally, they run into each other on the way. In reality, Nishino wanted to treat him to a strawberry cake she made herself because it's her birthday that day. Junpei is overcome with excitement and guilt for forgetting her birthday, and he promises to give Nishino the gift she desires. However, she doesn't want an expensive gift. All she wants is a lovely handshake with Junpei. At school, Tuju receives a love letter, but she hesitates to open it because she is already in love with someone else. When her friend asked about it, she confesses that although they are not officially dating, she shares a deep connection with someone. However, Tuju has a girlfriend and she realizes that she may have to let go of that boy. Tuju tries to brush it off as a plot from her novel, but her friend can see that Tuju's feelings are genuine. Quietly listening to their conversation, Junpei starts to wonder if Tuju truly loves him. However, there are already others in line for Junpei's affection, including Satsuki and Nishino, making his love story no less than that of a novel. While pondering all night, Junpei couldn't sleep and struggled to determine who would be the best choice for him. As he enters the classroom, Satsuki accidentally falls on top of him and loudly declares to everyone that she and Junpei are in a relationship. Junpei and the other students are taken aback by this sudden announcement. However, Junpei quickly clarifies that nothing happened between them and it's all a misunderstanding. Overwhelmed, Junpei flees the classroom and outside he encounters Tuju, but she walks away silently with tears in her eyes. Seeking guidance, Junpei turns to his friend Okusa for advice on which girl to choose among Satsuki, Nishino, and Tuju. However, even Okusa can't provide a solution. Determined to be honest, Junpei decides to confront Satsuki and reveal his feelings for all three girls, even if it means risking her hatred. He confesses to Satsuki that he likes her but also has feelings for the other two girls. Initially, Satsuki is upset and cries, but she realizes that she still has a chance to win Junpei's heart and decides to continue pursuing him. Meanwhile, Tuju receives yet another love letter, but this time it's from Junpei himself. Junpei expresses his gratitude to Tuju for inspiring him to create his first movie and invites her to watch it with him. Tuju holds the letter close to her heart, abandoning the idea of giving up on Junpei and determined to fight for his affections. It's Christmas, but Junpei doesn't have money to buy gifts for the girls, so he decides to get a part-time job. His boss introduces him to someone who will train him, but it turns out to be Satsuki, which surprises Junpei. To hide their connection from the boss, Junpei and Satsuki act like they don't know each other. Satsuki trains Junpei seriously, but he wants to do something nice for her in return. Just when Junpei is about to give her something, his sister Yu catches them. Yu comes up with a plan to keep an eye on them by pretending they're getting food, but Satsuki plays a joke on Yu by giving her a spicy burger that makes her cough. This leads to a playful fight between Satsuki and Yu, and Junpei has to step in to calm them down. Yu apologizes to Satsuki when she realizes that Satsuki was only helping Junpei with training. Amidst the laughter, Yu couldn't help but comment on Satsuki's figure, playfully teasing her about her melons, saying she didn't particularly like having big melons because as they might become problematic as she gets older. Satsuki's face turned red, realizing her misstep. Yu ran away from there and Satsuki playfully chased her away. She don't want Junpei to see Satsuki in that manner, so she did something that made him run out of the shop, and the girls enjoyed that scene together. Junpei was not having a good day, being scolded by the manager, and his co-worker wonders why he joined the store in the busy Christmas days. Or maybe he is trying to earn money to buy Christmas gifts for someone special, but little did she know that it was not just one girl he had in mind, but three. To brighten Junpei's day, Nishino, who lived nearby, paid him a visit. She warmly invited him to her house where she had prepared a special roll cake just for him. Junpei felt happy and grateful to see Nishino as he thanked God that Satsuki wasn't around at that moment. His co-worker sent Satsuki home 5 minutes earlier, giving Junpei and Nishino some much-needed alone time. As Junpei savored the delicious cake, he couldn't help but feel lucky to be in Nishino's room with no one at home. Then Nishino showed him a beautiful view and Junpei's feelings of luckiness only grew stronger. In front of Junpei, Nishino was sitting in a mini skirt, and the background music she played only intensified his feelings. He found himself getting nervous, hoping she would offer him other cake too, while Nishino remained composed and calm. Nishino shared that her parents wouldn't be home until late that night, making Junpei's nervousness reach its peak. He decided it's time to head home, but just as he was leaving, Nishino stopped him from behind. Junpei, feeling overwhelmed by the atmosphere, asked her to keep her distance, afraid of where things might lead. In response, Nishino playfully granted him permission to do whatever he wanted, curious about his reaction. However, as Junpei started to get carried away, he couldn't help but imagine Tuju's image on Nishino's face. He stopped himself and Nishino, then told him that she wouldn't wait forever, as she didn't like the feeling of endless waiting. Due to having different schools, she sensed that he had changed, and she didn't want to keep waiting for him indefinitely. So she bid him goodbye. Junpei felt hurt and disappointed by Nishino's actions, regretting that he couldn't even apologize to her before leaving. Next day after finishing his work, Junpei started heading home when he came across a cake that looked exactly like the one Nishino had made for him. The sales girl informed him that it is a limited-time Christmas item. Suddenly, it hit Junpei that Nishino had invited him to celebrate Christmas, with her not just to try the cake, but to spend time together. Junpei could not hold his tears upon realizing that how much he used to like Nishino in the middle school. On the new year, Yu and Junpei both made their heartfelt wishes. Yu prayed to get into Aomi Academy, and Junpei wished for a love that he could truly look forward to. Shortly after, they bumped into Tuju, who inquired about Yu's high school preferences. Despite her doubts about making it, Yu expressed her desire to enroll in Aomi Academy. Hearing this, Tuju generously offered her study notes and materials for the entrance test she made earlier. Although Aomi Academy was Tuju's first choice too, she ended up joining Izumazaka High School, driven by a boy we all know. Delighted by the offer, Yu asked Tuju to tutor her during winter vacation, to which Tuju enthusiastically agreed, jokingly referring to herself as a nerd with nothing else to do but homework. Junpei also welcomed the idea of Tuju coming over to his house, bringing back memories of when she used to tutor him. As the study session continued, Yu inquired why Tuju didn't join Omi Academy. Tuju hesitated, but eventually revealed that it was because of an unrequited love she had for a boy who had been in a relationship since middle school. Yu, however, believes that love doesn't always last forever, and maybe the boy had already broken up with his girlfriend. Tuju's response was a mixture of shock and surprise, accidentally dropping a glass in her hand as she stood up when she heard from Yu that Junpei also might have broken up with his girlfriend. As Yu decided to take a break and wait for the spilled water to dry up, she headed to the market to buy some snacks. Meanwhile, Junpei entered Tuju's room and found her sleeping on the study table. He accidentally picked up her old middle school notebook, which she still used for writing her novels. Tuju woke up and noticed Junpei holding her notebook, offering him a chance to read it. They both enjoyed the novel together, but an awkward moment ensued when their hands accidentally touched. Before Tuju could ask Junpei about his relationship status, Yu opened the door and spotted them, leading her to quickly apologize and run away. As winter holidays came to an end, Yu had to return home for school. Thanks to Tuju's tutoring, she felt confident about clearing the entrance test. Tuju decided to spend the day hanging out with Yu. Stupid Junpei had taken extra shifts on Christmas Eve, and now he was wandering the streets on a regular day. Yui and Tuju also wonders why he is roaming on the streets, and just then Satsuki, Kamiyama, and Okusa also joins them out of nowhere. Yu was afraid of Satsuki's teasing, and Kamiyama suggested they all do something together since they were all there. Satsuki and Junpei were on board with the idea, and Yu asked if she could join them as well. Ultimately, they let Yu decide what they should do, considering it was her last day in the city. Yu's idea of playing hide-and-seek was met with surprise by Satsuki, who was concerned about the freezing weather. Kamiyama received a playful slap when he suggested hiding close together for warmth. Junpei, who hadn't played hide-and-seek since elementary school, found himself hiding with Yu at the same spot, behind the toilet. The small space made him nervous, and he asked Yu if they would be okay like this. Yu wonders why Junpei is nervous because back then they were able to hide here comfortably. She playfully knocked him on the chin and quickly ran off to hide somewhere else, not wanting to be caught together. As time passed, everyone was found except for Yu. She had a secret hiding place that even Junpei didn't know about. An hour went by, and with the snowfall increasing, they became worried as Yu had never stayed hidden for so long. They knew she must still be in the park because she never gone home without being found first. Junpei, concerned that Yu might be too cold to move, started running all over the park to find her. Finally, he heard her sneezing and discovered her hiding spot. He hugged her tightly, relieved that he had found her, as he was worried about her. Next morning, they all gathered at the subway station to see Yu off. She couldn't hold back her tears, worried that she would feel lonely when she reaches home. The film club members reassured her that they would pick her up again when she returned for the entrance test, and they promised to have more fun together. The camera nerd couldn't resist taking a picture of Yu, capturing the emotional moment as she said her goodbyes to everyone. Satsuki dragged Junpei along on a shopping trip, and to their surprise, Tuju showed up with a gift hidden behind her back, seeing Satsuki with Junpei. Tuju asked what they were doing there, and Satsuki took advantage of the situation, claiming they were on a date and even thanking Junpei for the present in front of her. Satsuki then left, leaving Tuju confused, but Junpei assured her that it wasn't a date and ran after Satsuki. He confronted Satsuki about why she lied, and she confessed that she saw it as an opportunity to ruin his relationship with Tuju. She hugged him tightly, but her anger flared up when Junpei didn't hug her back. Satsuki was frustrated because she felt like she never received the attention she wanted from Junpei despite being so upfront about her feelings. She ran away in tears, feeling hurt and neglected, and Junpei realized this was similar to what happened with Nishino, because Junpei is such a loser that couldn't decide which girl he likes and is getting what he deserves. After that incident, several days passed with Junpei and Satsuki not talking, and their relationship remained strained. It seemed like they were unable to fix the rift between them. Then Valentine's Day arrived, and Kamiyama was feeling down because he hadn't received any gifts, while Okusa was delighted with a table full of presents. Junpei, on the other hand, couldn't find any gifts for himself even after checking his shoe rack. He mused about how Valentine's Day was just another ordinary day for guys like him who weren't popular. After school, Satsuki was eager to give Junpei a Valentine's Day present but couldn't muster the courage to do so. Tuju surprised Junpei with a gift, making it the first time he received a Valentine's present. Tuju explained that she learned about Nishino from Yu Chan and felt it was okay to express her gratitude to Junpei by giving him a present. Getting to know Junpei had opened up her world, allowing her to befriend people she would have never talked to before, like Kamiyama and Okusa. Junpei felt the same way about Tuju's positive impact on his life. However, Satsuki felt disheartened when she witnessed the exchange and ran away, throwing her gift box in the dustbin. Junpei later found a gift box outside his main door. Assuming it might be from Satsuki, he prepared to enjoy the chocolates, but Yu paid him a surprise visit, which came back to give entrance test. Yu couldn't resist eating the chocolates, which annoyed Junpei, leading him to consume the rest in one go. Yu started shouting tissue, tissue. When Junpei's nose started bleeding, how pathetic. Not even kindergartners get nosebleed from eating chocolate. Satsuki was troubled, not knowing how to approach Junpei after their recent misunderstandings. However, to her surprise, Junpei thanked her for the Valentine's gift that Real Nishino had left for him. Satsuki was amazed at how he found and picked up the gift from the dustbin, and even ate the chocolates, considering them as delicious as store-bought ones. Anyway, the sincere gesture patched up their relationship, and they started to reconnect as before. Meanwhile, Yu, after finishing her entrance exam, got lost on her way back home. Yu was overjoyed when she unexpectedly ran into Nishino, who kindly helped her find her way back home. During their conversation, Nishino asked about Junpei, and Yu mentioned how he was delighted after eating the handmade chocolates yesterday. Nishino muttered her thanks to Junpei for accepting her gift, which puzzled Yui, as she wondered why Nishino was thanking Junpei as if she had made those chocolates.